welcome back. If you are in the chat, I'd love for you to hit comment and let me know who is joining us today. And I guess let's go ahead and get started. So our big news, we have two pieces of big news in our homeschool this week. One of them is that we are officially done with year number 11. That finishes up grades 10, 6th, and 4th for us. So I have just one more year of elementary school before I have all middle school and high schoolers, which is crazy. My youngest wasn't even born when we started homeschooling. So to now be coming into our last year of elementary just is crazy. Now my daughter does still have math class. She has, I think, 2 more math classes next week, and then she is done. We outsource her math class through myhomeschoolmathclass.com. If you have a student in like pre-algebra and up, and you're looking to outsource it next year, I would absolutely recommend them. There are 2 teachers. One of them I'm not sure is going to return next year, but the main one, Mrs. Perkins, is the one who owns the company, and she is absolutely fantastic. She does math. She explains math really well, and she is encouraging. She is great to get help with outside of class. You can, if you're not sure if you want to commit to it, which I absolutely understand, she does have what she calls boot camps, so like pre-algebra boot camp, algebra, whatever, and it's just kind of a review at the beginning of the year, like a review that you can do at the beginning of the year before they start. But you can buy that and check out her teaching style and see if you like it before you commit to the class. I can't say enough good things about her, and I'm really sad that Elizabeth won't be able to continue her next year. So if you're looking for a math class, go check her out. And the other big piece of news is that, speaking of Elizabeth, she is now a driver. We went last Wednesday to get her driver's permit, and I can't believe that I have a driver. She had started driver's ed through a private place just before quarantine started. Her second class was like the weekend that things shut down for us. So she was able to move it online. Welcome, whoever just joined. If you're here, I'd love for you to comment down in the chat so I know who's joining me today. So Elizabeth got her driver's permit when her class was interrupted by the quarantine. They were able to move it online, and so she did that, and then she had done her driving portion right before that ended, or the quarantine started. So after class, we made our appointment and went over to the DMV last week and got her permit. In North Carolina, I'm going to do a video about this, but in North Carolina you have 2 tests that you have to take, a road sign test and then like a basic laws test. And so she did that last week, and now in North Carolina you have to hold your permit for a year before you can get your license, which we didn't realize, which means she's going to be like 16 and a half before she gets her license, but such as it is, we can't change that. And yeah, so I have a driver now. And I guess that's all my personal news. Elisa, welcome. I'm glad you joined us. California, are you in Northern California, Southern? What part of California are you in? I'd love to know. California is a state that I would really love to be stationed at for a brief time. There's not a whole lot of Army bases there anyway, but yeah, I'd like to be stationed there, but I don't think I'd want to live there forever, but I would like to visit. I've been into LA, but for a few days when my sister lived there, but I was 19 and that's it. That's my only experience in California. Anyway, Northern, wonderful. There is another YouTuber, creative two-time mom, who, I don't know if you've ever watched her, but she, her kids are about my age. She's a homeschooling mom too. She's from Northern California. I can't remember the city. The area that got hit by the wildfires badly a couple years ago. Anyway, go check her out. She's a great channel. Her channel is creative. Creative two-time mom. Anyway, okay, let's get started. I've got a few homeschool sales for you. One, Guest Hollow. Before we get started, all the links will be down below. And I stopped my microphone off. I am working on transitioning all my show notes over to the blog as well. So later today, if you go to thislifeofours.net/episode 15, all the show notes will be over there. Go check that out over on my blog. Anyway, Guest Hollow, first homeschool sale. Again, all the links will be down below. Guest Hollow is a Christian homeschool company, definitely not secular, though from what we've used one program from them, and that was Kitchen and the Chemistry. You may have heard me talk about it before, you've seen the video. There are some Christian themes in there, but it's very easy to make secular if you are looking for that. Some of their programs I think are better quality than others. There are certain ones that I would absolutely not recommend, but that's me. Anyway, they are running a sale, 10% off sale through May 18th. And Kitchen and the Chemistry we used when my daughter was in 8th grade. It's supposed to be a high school level course, but it's a chemistry curriculum that does not have math, which is great if you don't have a student who doesn't need math, doesn't need like a traditional chemistry class for college. It is so good, and it's on sale for 10%. So for 8th grade, we just modified it some, and I have a video where I talk about it, and I talk in there how I adapted it for us. So Guest Hollow, 10%. They also have they have high school curriculum, but then also middle school and elementary curriculum. Next one, Oak Meadow. We have not used Oak Meadow, but it's of course a long time favorite. It's one of the first curriculums that I ever had heard of or anything. It's more of a Waldorf-y inspired. They have an online version. I don't know how that works, and I assume it's a self-paced thing and then regular print. Anyway, they have 20% off it says complete packages and more. So I'm assuming it's an office site-wide sale, and that is good from May through May 25th. So if you are interested in Oak Meadow as your complete curriculum next year, or looking at some of their supplements or a unit, right now would be a great time to grab it. And then, got my little handy notes here. Fine. I have mentioned it here and there, but I have not talked much about is that I have recently quietly introduced a store over on my blog. And right now I have my homeschool evaluation pack on sale, 50% off with code YTEVAL. Again, I'll have it all down there. But this is something that you may have heard me talk about in previous years. There are almost 12 pages of different things, including I've got a questionnaire for your kids to fill out, something that it's just kind of a fun little thing to hear about their thoughts from the year, what they like for field trips and read alouds, and one of my favorites is, can you tell me a memory that made you laugh? I love hearing what they remember from the year, that kind of thing. I also have a page to evaluate each kid, evaluate yourself as the homeschool mom, if you want to dig in and think about how you really did. A curriculum, anyway, it's a 12-page thing that I fill out every year. These are pages that I actually use, so these are not just ones that I think look cute or I was creating just to fill it up and make it look longer or whatever. These are pages that I think that I actually use. I have fine-tuned it the past few years to get just what I want. So definitely check that out. What else do I have? Oh, Cricket Media. If you don't know Cricket Media, I meant to bring my magazines. I have talked before about magazines like Dig and Ask. And this is the company who also does like Cobblestone magazine, those sorts. They are running 75% off their single issues, so ones that have already been printed. They're clearing out their warehouse, and 75% off. And so each issue of the different magazines have some kind of a theme about them, and there are ones for all ages. So this is a great time to try out different magazines. They also have a section where it's done by, divided down by category or topic. So if you are looking, maybe you're going to study Civil War next year, you can go look for that. Or maybe you're going to do some studies in Africa or Asia. You can break it down, go search through there, whatever the topic is, and find a new supplement to go along with it. Most of them are kind of a history themed, geography, that kind of thing, some science, some language arts, but yeah, this is a great time to try it out, and 75% off is a great deal. Most of them, the regular prices are kind of in the $5-ish range, so 75% is a fantastic deal. And one last, and that's good as long as their supplies last. So go check it out soon. And one last one is that I've already mentioned, but I want to highlight it again, is the pandemic unit study that's free over from Pandia Press, which is the company that does Real Science Odyssey, and I forget their history program. This unit it's not really focused on COVID, but just more about pandemics in general. They have it broken down into a history section and a science section. There are some readings, there are some activities. It's really interesting. We have gone through most of it, and yeah, it's been really good. I would say like a general age range is like maybe 3rd grade and up, somewhere around there. Maybe 3rd to 8th, but you could adapt around. So if you are looking for something to fill in a little bit of time here at the end of the school year, or maybe beginning of the next school year, the pandemic unit study from Pandia Press is excellent. And then I have a couple resources for things for your home. One of them, I have been, with a little more, we're all home a little more right now and a little more time on my hands, and I love Facebook. I absolutely love it. And I don't mind saying that, but sometimes it gets to be a little much. But right now I've been trying to focus more on like actual connections there and not just like skimming. So one of the ways I am doing that is through using an extension for Google Chrome, and Firefox has it as well. It's called the Newsfeed Eradicator. So yeah, that's exactly what it says. It eliminates your regular newsfeed, but you can still see all your groups through there. So it's been good for me to try and focus a little more on relationships through there in places that are a little more private and not just out there where who knows who can come and argue with me or whatever. So Newsfeed Eradicator is a fantastic Google extension. And if you don't know what those are, like Google has Chrome, it's called the Chrome Marketplace, and they have extensions for all kinds of things. Looking at mine, I've got my ad blocker one called the library extension, which I have a video about, which scans like Amazon or Audible, those kind of places. When you're visiting, if you pull up a book on there, it'll tell you if your library has it available. I will link that video up there. So that's what the Chrome extensions are. They're just add-ons for Chrome. And then, Michael's, the craft store, has moved some of their craft classes online. And they are free, but there are limited spots in them. So it looks like they come out a week at a time, and you do have to register ahead of time. So size is limited. So if you are a crafter and maybe you want to try something new, check out the link and go see what they have available for you. And then let me look. Oh, one last thing. I have mentioned before about the teen podcast challenge that NPR does. Contest is over for this year, I believe, but they have a curriculum that is available to teach your kids how to podcast, like the whole process of like from the technical stuff to the story writing, etc. Anyway, last year this podcast that won was a group of 8th grade girls who wrote a podcast story about periods. And they were interviewed on NPR, and that interview recently won a Gracie Award, which, if you're not familiar, they're like a media award for women. And so I just thought it was kind of fun that I talked about it here in the Homeschool Breakroom and over on Facebook about this podcast challenge. And then I saw that the last year's winners were part of the Gracie Awards that were announced this week. So I will leave the link to the interview, and you can, when you go to that link, you can also hear the podcast that the girls did. And that is all we have for this week. Now, next week, I have, welcome whoever just joined. Next week, I have 2 topic ideas, and I wanted to leave it to you to see what you want to talk about next week. So over in the chat, or if you're watching this later, leave me down in the comments. If you want to head back into the kitchen and talk about some different such things, or I can do some summer fun ideas. So I would love for you to cast your vote and let me know which one you would like to chat about next week. Let me do one more look over my notes to make sure I have everything. The sales. And I do. So, like I said, everything will be down in the show notes in about an hour. You can also head over to my blog, thislifeofours.net, /episode 15, and all the links will be over there. Don't forget to check out those sales, and especially the one over on my blog. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.